As y'all seen from the intro, I'm very curious to that exact question. What car sounds the best? Well, hello there, beautiful people. I'm here to answer your question today. And to tell you why I can answer that question, well, I have every car currently in the game. And I've tested, well, okay, first, let's talk about this. These are purely in my opinion. These are what I think sounds the best. It might not apply to you, but personally to me, these sounds the best. And the reason why I can prove it is pretty much I put 1 mile on every car, or some of them I didn't even drive a mile, but I pretty much put 1 mile on every single car, especially the ones that I think that sounds good. I've driven them a few miles, but a quick update reminder, we have no traffic now. Well, like literally no traffic. So, you know, before further ado, let's set our sound bar. What I'm gonna have is I'm gonna have this at 40%. And for me, I am going to have this volume activation at around 1 bar. And that's what I'm gonna have. You might not hear my voice as clearly and as pop as what you might expect. Well, there's gonna be, well, 2 variants. One variant is gonna be a mix between engine sounds and my voice. And the other variant is pure engine voice. And there might be a little difference because I will tweak it in the After Effects or whatever, like post-production. And before we continue any, like, all that much further, I do have to mention that I made a extensive list of 42 cars. That sounds very nice. And I will have all the cars at the end of the video so you guys can go test them out. But these are only the ones I've selected that stood out to me as, you know, the ones that sound really, really nice. And yeah, I'm only going to be showing these today. We have 10 cars, about 10 cars on the list today. So yeah, let's just get started with our first one. So this is the 2014 Porsche 911 GT3. It has a spoiler with the and a roll cage and weight reduction, no back seats. It is a earlier model, so the model isn't the best. However, the sound is what we're going for today. So let's drive it around. Before we move on, I do have to mention the car. It goes 0 to 60 in 3.2, 500 horsepower, and it has a top speed of 206. And it is pretty maneuverable, so I wouldn't say it's a bad racing car. It's actually pretty decent. So if you're looking to buy a car at $184,000 and it sounds good, not a bad option. Continue on to our next one. This right here is a American Patriot credit check special. And yeah, it's the 1970s Ford Mustang. It's a real American muscle car, you know, and it sounds like it too. So let's test her out. Absolutely beautiful engine start, and obviously there is actually an idle sound that sounds like, well, what American cars should sound like. So yeah, let's go for a little joyride. And as you've seen from that little short bit of sound testing, yeah, the gauge actually does not function like you might expect, which, you know, I'm gonna smack talk the devs a little bit. Please fix the gauge. You know, I don't want it to go like that far and not do anything else. Please, thank you so much. Because it is actually a really good car model. It's gonna slide backwards. And by a very good car model, I literally mean it. If you look at the engine, as you can see, right, it is very much detailed. Interior, very much like everything you need there is there, and the only thing that's really messing up is the little dial there. But yeah, this thing is pretty cool when it comes to details and all that. Now we're gonna actually jump up a lot in pricing here. We're gonna jump right to the Saleen S7. This is the Saleen S7, and it is worth 1.75 million. And the reason why I really want to bring this car into the picture early is because, well, it is just one of the most interesting sounding cars, and it actually is supercharged, believe it or not. Well, you have to believe it because there's a big supercharge right there, but alright, let's test her out. This is the idle, and honestly it sounds pretty rowdy. Before we do the test drive though, I want you to take note of the supercharger whine. It's gonna have a little bit of a right behind it. You'll hear it if you listen carefully. Alright, from what you've seen here, you can probably hear the supercharger wind down, and it's actually like really interesting. So this is personally the one with the most supercharger noise, because there are actually other cars with supercharger noises, but it's honestly just not that, like, it's not all that loud. Like, for example, like the Dodge Demon, it definitely has a supercharger whine to it, but it's just not really that loud. Like, you can barely hear it. There's barely any. It's very much covered by the rowdy noise of the actual engine itself. So yeah, the one with the most substantial supercharger noise has to say the Saleen S7. Alright, let's jump to our next one. Also a more American car. Well, this car right here is obviously a little cheaper. This is the Ford GT right here. And the GT40, Ford GT40 Gen 1. This is the first generation, and honestly, it is not a super fast car. However, the top speed is 205. So it is a very race viable vehicle, and yeah, personally one of my most favorite sounding American cars. If you really get close to the exhaust, you can hear the idle, but if you're sitting inside the car, the idle is much better. However, you know, that's it's a little quiet on the outside, but yeah, this car is very detailed, and I personally, I like it. It's pretty cool. Right, let's get driving. Well, from the no bias standpoint, I can tell you this is one of the best handling cars I've ever driven. Crazy enough. And it actually isn't slow at all, so I would say this is a very much race viable vehicle. If you want to take it to, well, drive on highway and something else, you know, it's completely up to you. And yeah, it is very much worth your time to drive this thing. And also, only if you are outside of the vehicle or in third person view will you be able to hear the very distinct engine whine, the supercharger whine for the Ford GT. And honestly, it is one of the best sounding cars I've ever driven that's in the American family. And now let's head to a completely different continent. We're gonna go to Japan for this one. We have the best sounding V12 in the world, personally in my opinion. And it is not exaggeration, the LFA. It is a orchestra of V12 engine. And yeah, it is, don't get me wrong, this is not a fast car, like at all. And it handles mediocrely, it slides quite a lot. But do I love driving this thing every single second? Yes, absolutely I do. Top speed of 210 0 to 60, 3.6 seconds and 536 horsepower. Let's spawn her in. This right here, my friends, it is the limited LFA, but it does have the same sounds as the one you can just buy from the shop. So let's take a listen. Well guys, since you guys made it to this part of the video, I'm obligated to let you know that you should probably subscribe if you like this type of content where I will help you with Midnight Chasers content and potentially new games in the future coming soon. I'm still looking for, well, another good enough car game that I could potentially get into. Maybe I'll actually get into a set of Corsa and all that stuff, but we'll see. We'll see where the road takes me. But and even potentially in the future IRL content or biking content if you guys are interested in that type of stuff. But we'll see where we get to in the future. But please be sure you leave a like, subscribe, and yeah, if you have any interesting ideas or things you want to comment about, comment them and I'll get to you. So here's the LFA. You know, how do you like that? It's pretty nice. Personally, one of my well, this is the favorite sounding car. Well, like my favorite sounding car because, well, it is such a nice sounding vehicle. Is LFA a V10 question mark? Ah, yeah, this thing's apparently a V10, not a V12. Alright, my mistake, chat, my mistake. Alright, well, we're gonna continue with our next vehicle, which I have difficulty pronounced since day one. The Pagani Cinque?
We are looking at how to pronounce this word. How do you say 5, as in the number 5, in Italian? This is what this word means. And yes, the letter C in Italian by itself before a vowel is pronounced as ch. Well, that's before an E or an I, which is the case here. So cinque is how to say 5 in Italian.
After listening to this nice Italian man teach me how to pronounce, I'm here to announce that it's called like Cinque, I think.
Cinque.
Yeah, Cinque chat. We got the man. Well, the Pagani Cinque. This is what we have going on over here. And personally, the reason why I love this car so much is because of the downshift noise. The downshift on this is, it's got so much power behind it that, you know, it's just super nice. Right, let's take a look at the inside. When it's idling, it has this low hump which is, you know, pretty average for every car. But let's listen to the driving of this. Well, gents, that is the Cinque right here. Yeah, I have to say this is a really insanely nice sounding vehicle, in my personal opinion. And it's just the upshift and downshift. The transmission noise is the best currently in game. There is no second. Personally, I cannot bring out a second that sounds as good, that has as nice of a shifting noise as this. So, yeah, here is the Cinque. Do have to mention, it is not a fast car, and it is not so viable for racing. I do not recommend this for racing. I do recommend this for driving, not for racing. Following our Cinque there, in the Pagani family, we have the Zonda R Evo. This is the Zonda R Evolution that's currently in game. Track pass is required, unfortunately. 2.9 million is the price for this car. Top speed 220, 0 to 60, 2.7 seconds, and 800 horsepower. If you want a better car for racing, that also sounds pretty good. This is the Pagani Zonda R. And this is 1.7 million, and it has very similar stats, and currently on the old chassis. I don't know if that will be changed soon. Currently on the old chassis, this is one of the best controllable handle cars, or just an all-rounder. It's a great all-rounder. And yeah, it is obviously on the louder side, so my apologies, the sounds will be reduced for this portion of the video, obviously. So let's get driving. This car does have one of the best revving noises, I can't lie. And yeah, let's head to our next contender, which is actually a very close family to the Zonda R. It has the same engine as the Zonda R, I'm pretty sure. It is the CLK GTR, I think. I think they have the same engine, but CLK GTR is a little bit more on the rowdier side. The idle is obviously just a lower hum. And if you listen actually very carefully, you can hear a radio sound. And it's saying techno bass. I'm pretty sure that's what it's saying. I'm not sure. I think I'm hearing it. I think I'm not insane, but let's give this thing a little drive. there's the Cinque GTR. It is not the fastest car, but it is a very interesting sounding car, and there's a radio in it. And some guy saying techno bass the whole time. But yeah, I can't lie, this is one of the best cars. Unfortunately, we cannot see the engine because, well, not for this car at least. But yeah, this car is filled with detail. Anything you can imagine or think of, it is actually, because this is one of the newest models that they've added into the game. So obviously there are a lot more details actually in this car and compared to other things. But unfortunately, you cannot see the engine. I mean, you can kind of see it in like this angle here. You can see a little bit of the detail here and there, but unfortunately the engine cannot be lifted, so we can't really see all that much about the engine. On to our next one. It is still in the Pagani family because, well, Pagani makes really nice cars. So this right here is the Pagani Huayra. Let's check out the specs. The Pagani Huayra does 239 as top speed, 0 to 62.7 and 720 horsepower. If I remember correctly, this is, I think, one of the best cars. Well, not exactly the best cars for racing, but it is very, very viable for racing. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's about it for today's video. That is all of the cars that sounds the best currently in game. I just included a bunch of Paganis because they're super nice, but I might be a little biased. I really like Paganis, but I'm gonna continue. That's about it for today's video. If you've enjoyed it, subscribe, leave a like, and leave a comment on what you want to see in the future. And if you have any questions or anything like that, feel free to let me know, or somebody in my community will actually reply to you before me if I don't get to you fast enough, because, well, sometimes life happens and I do get a little busy. But that's that's me signing out. However, quick announcement, there is actually a really big video coming soon, and that you guys will genuinely enjoy. I think is going to be a really interesting video, and it is a long video. So yeah, in the meantime, if you guys want to support me by taking a look at all the shorts that I've made recently, and just let me know if there's anything I can improve on those, that'd be great. And and what type of shorts you guys want to see in the future, and what type of video you guys want to see in the future, I'll appreciate it. And yeah, that's Kenji signing out. See you in the next video.